This video is a serious video. I'm going to speak about what happened to Danny Chen. You know, I just found out about this today. I read up on it, and basically it's an army soldier, Chinese American, ends up committing suicide because he was being racially discriminated, being harassed, bullied, and treated like trash. You know, and suffered severe discrimination right when he got in there. You read the articles on it. It's all over the news. Now they're charging 8 of these people with connection to his death. And, you know, I feel sorry for the parents and his friends and the people that love him and everything, but this is a serious problem in America. You know, and I'm experiencing the same thing. I've experienced the same thing. Alright, in the field of law enforcement. I'm Chinese American too. Went through the same type of treatment. And the way that I see it, I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting back. And right now I'm restricted on what I can and can't say because it's in the courts now. I'm trying to fight for justice, and whether or not I get it, I don't know. Alright, and what I see that happened to Danny, obviously it's a negative thing. Horrible thing to happen. Things like that should not be happening. People should not be committing suicide because they're not getting equal treatment, because they're not getting respect, because people are treating them like they're not even human. You know, and you know, throwing rocks at him and making him crawl 100 yards. You know, treating him in a certain way just because of the way he looks. You know, he's supposed to be joining the army to fight for our country, but it's the racist bullies in our country that basically led to his suicide. And I think that's a very sad thing. You know, and I feel for him. You know, I'm Asian American too, and I go through this stuff all the time out there. All the time. It's like you can't get away from it. Somebody's calling you Jackie Chan, somebody's calling you Bruce Lee, somebody's making some Bruce Lee funny noises, somebody calling you Chink, somebody calling, you know, Ching Chong, people saying all sorts of things, putting down your race, and you don't even do nothing to them. You don't do anything to them. You keep to yourself, you don't say nothing to nobody, and then everybody starts picking on you. It's a horrible thing. You know, and Martin Luther King's birthday is coming up. The celebration's coming up on Monday. And this should be a reminder of how important it is for us to be aware of how we treat other people. And to be aware that, hey, you know, we're in this together as far as the minority is concerned. This is not just a Chinese white thing. This is like minorities and people being racially bullied. You know, whites, blacks, Asians, Hispanics, we go through this type of things. Alright, sometimes it might be hard for a Caucasian to understand because this is, you know, it's hard for you to understand because you live in America. But if you moved over to China and you're the only Caucasian in all Chinese area, it's going to be probably a little more difficult for you. Then you might start to understand. But as far as being a minority in America, it's very difficult, you know, when you go through these things. Now, his options were to complain about it, and if you complain about it, probably nothing would have been done about it. And then his second option, in the way that he saw, was commit suicide. And his third option, he could have took out the people and then committed suicide. Or he could have just took out the people because he had guns. Now, you see in Virginia Tech, that guy was going through a lot of stuff through his whole life, and then he just took it out. Took it out on everybody. Now that makes it worse for the race. It makes it worse because then it makes the people even hate his race even more. But the way that Danny Chen did it, he didn't hurt anybody. Even though he was being bullied by all these people, he didn't hurt any of them. But he decided to hurt himself to make a statement. So I see it as the positive thing that I see out of it is that it was a self-sacrifice to make a strong statement. And the positive thing I see about it is that there's things being done about it. Alright? It's all over the media. It's all over the headlines. There's all these articles. Alright? They charged 8 people with it. You know, they're taking it serious. Alright? They're conducting investigations. Alright? People are the community's having a strong response about it, of how wrong this is. I saw another headline saying why Black America should care about what happened to Danny Chen. Alright? This is a huge problem. Alright? Martin Luther King did not stop racism. Racism is still rampant. It's just more hidden. It's more suppressed. And what's the sad thing is, back then, you know, during the Nazi Germany and all that stuff, people know, hey, you know, I'm Nazi, I'm gonna suppress these people. But now, it's not accepted, alright? The sad thing is people that are Nazis within, and then they think that they're not. You know, so basically, these people that did this to Danny, they're pretty much Nazis within. You know? And there's a lot of people out there that are Nazis within. A lot of hatred within for other races. Not just blacks, not just Asians, not just Nazis within. And that's basically what happened. You know, and I see that he made a self-sacrifice to make a strong statement. I believe Martin Luther King made a self-sacrifice to make a statement. He knew that if he kept going with this racial civil rights movement, that he was going to be assassinated. He knew that. But he still kept going. It was a self-sacrifice for the greater good. And I think that Danny did the same thing for the Asians in a different way. He said, you know what, I'm experiencing all this negativity, all this hatred, all this racism. How am I going to change things for the better? Not just for me, but for the people around me, so other people don't have to go through this. He decided to take his own life in order to make that statement. And that statement has been strong. You go over, they're taking it serious. He created something. A lot of communication, a lot of basically emotions coming from the public, because when you go through these things yourself, you basically immediately understand how it's not just joking. You know, people say it's just joke. Oh, words don't hurt. Bricks and bones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's bull. Alright? That's bull. I'll tell you this right now. Words hurt more than the physical. I'll tell you right now, it'd be better to get beat instead of somebody constantly putting you down verbally. Why do you think in the UFC, in that cage fighting, they don't allow profanity, they don't allow racial slurs, they don't allow that verbal taunting in the cage? That's seen as more disrespectful than actually bashing somebody's face in. Okay? So I'll tell you right now, like, if you punch somebody, it'll heal, not a big deal. But when you tell somebody, hey, you know, you N-word or you chink or whatever, psychologically, that could stay with them for their whole life. You know, it could damage their psychology for many years. You know, and the people that constantly treat somebody like that, constantly, on a consistent basis, it damages their psychology so much that they could result in doing some horrible things. We saw what happened with Virginia Tech. We see what happened with this, you know, Danny Chen taking his own life. And there's a lot of other cases that just people don't know about. My own case, I filed a complaint, and then I get wrongfully terminated. I get retaliated against. You know, I get pushed down. You know, suppressed, and everything turns around against me, make it seem like I'm the criminal when I'm not, when I'm just standing up for my human rights, and then they turn me into the criminal. It's just like has to stop. I'm doing my best to fight back. I'm trying to utilize the justice system. I'll see where that goes with that. If it doesn't turn in my favor, then hey, I'm gonna just come out with everything and let everybody know what I went through. Alright, but I'll tell you right now, it's very similar to what Danny went through. I went through the same stuff. The only difference is I'm using the justice system to try to fight back. See where that goes. But, hey, there needs to be some changes. Seriously. And for the people that, if you're a minority, don't ever even think about racially bullying another minority. Because you, before anybody should understand how it's like. So, what I'm saying is, sometimes I go out there in the public and there might be an African American that might call me Jackie Chan or something like that and start laughing. In my mind, I'm like, what are you doing? What's wrong with you? I mean, do you even see that we're in the same boat? That we're going through the same struggle, and now you're gonna be trying to you're gonna try to bully me by putting me down. Well, hey, they're doing that to you too. Alright, so this stuff that we're all going through together, we gotta come together as a whole. All the minorities gotta come together and say that, hey, this stuff has gotta stop. We gotta stop the inner Nazis. Not the outer, because it's no longer, you don't see the hats anymore. You don't even see the symbols anymore. It's inside. And it's not the skin color, because I'm not saying all Caucasians are Nazis. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there's some people where there's the inner Nazi. And it might even be an African American that has an inner Nazi inside of him, where he is suppressing his own race, bullying his own race, bullying other races. So that's pretty much how it is. The inner Nazi is what we gotta destroy. It's not a racial thing. It's not white against black, white against Chinese. It's not that. It's the inner Nazis that we gotta destroy. If you have that inner Nazi within you, then I say, hey, learn to cure yourself. It's like having a virus inside of you, some type of flu. You gotta cure yourself, become healthy, because that inner Nazi within you creates a lot of damage around, a lot of damage to the people around you, such as this person, Danny, who couldn't take it anymore, so he ended up taking his own life. I feel very sorry for that, but like I said, I think he made a strong statement, and I could see that he made a self-sacrifice to make a statement, so then people could take it more serious. Because if he didn't do that, if he just complained, they're just gonna just gonna shove it under the carpet. No big deal, whatever. Forget about it. But because he did that, people are taking it a little more serious, and this is a serious issue. It needs to be taken care of. All right, and I say, educate yourself. If you have the inner Nazi within you, cure yourself. If you see somebody else having an inner Nazi, cure them. Let them know, hey, stop it. Keep those racial jokes to yourself. Nobody wants to hear them.